butt. You floor dog. You're a floor dog. Cat. You're fatty. You're over there. Everybody's ready to go. I've got horses running through water, I believe. And all that pocket's all jacked up. Gotta fix that. There we go. All right. Whew. Cowboy shorts continue. I get cowboy shirts. I got the mustache going for the month, so a lot of cowboy shirts. But actually, Shiny Shirt Week starts Saturday, so it'll be shiny shirts from Saturday on with this mustache. This makes me look like, I don't know, the creepiest man in the entire world. So, welcome aboard, everybody. Excuse me, a problem. Episode number, 726 or something? Yowza. It is raining cats and dogs outside. Absolutely just diabolical. There's a windstorm, I think, coming tonight, so I don't know. Power might go out. We'll find out. Democrats cleaned up in the elections yesterday. They got rid of the supermajority in Mississippi. They took over both chambers in the governorship in Virginia. Democrats won by whopping margins. In counties in Kansas, Johnson County, Kansas, 94% of Democrats who are running for office won. They cleaned out all the school boards. Absolutely numbers that should make the Republicans terrified for the midterms. Like type of numbers that might give the Democrats a supermajority in the Senate type wins. All 73 endorsed candidates in special elections by Donald Trump lost. Every single solitary one of them. Zorhan won in New York. The world's greatest bureaucrat, Lena Khan, is his transition chair. So she's setting up the administration for him. Awesome move. Air traffic controllers have warned that if the government shutdown is still active on Friday, they will close 10% of U.S. airspace and close even more as the shutdown continues, because air traffic controllers and TSA agents just aren't showing up to work. They're not getting paid. They can't afford to feed their families. They're just like, I'm not showing up. So they're not. They're calling in sick and not showing up. Don't you dare. Stop it. It's not the kitty cat show. Quit being a jerk. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Turn around. Yeah. Turn around. You. Turn around. What's happening? What else is happening, cat? Don't you do it. I don't know. We'll discuss. It's nighttime, so let's do some jumping burgers, shall we? Right, this one, right there. Boom.
Houston, we have a problem.
Okay. Off. And yesterday's intro off. All intros are off, I believe. Okay. What's on your minds, bros and brodettes? Lyco Crypto was the first to message, but then they retracted their message. But then they messaged again. They said, Democrats win for now. This is true. Avocados, wow. Get to see a live show. Well, I'm doing an evening show. The Euros won't make it. They're dead asleep right now. It's like 3 a.m. for them. ECB 728. California Franchise Tax Board says Butterfly doesn't know anything. Nothing burger. So that one's cleared up. So we got that for us. Is that an important message from anyone? Or he just messaged me about the California Tax Authority and the Butterfly thing. Yes, so the California Tax Authority now says that DK Butterfly no longer owes any taxes, clearing that up. And there's like subsidiaries in Texas or in California that are part of the whole DK Butterfly stratum. Someone said there's like 38 of them. I think there's like a couple in California. So those are done. That's out of the way. That's good. That still doesn't change the fact that I don't have any money in my account. Ramez is telling everyone that Nomura Bank in Japan is going to pay out like $30 billion to the DK Butterfly estate. I don't believe that, but you know, that'd be awesome if that was the case. That'd be like hundreds of dollars a share. and we'd all be cajillionaires. But I don't think that's happening. It'd be wonderful if it did, but I don't think it's that much at all. And Pulsar says, yo, Pulsar is apparently some shit closing up on November 12th. New hype date. Yippee. It's always a new hype date. We'll see what happens. In Yogi 2012, Houston, what guitar are you buying after MOAS? I'm dreaming of an American Pro Deluxe 2 Telecaster, either the burst color or black. Every time I have the money, though, I just buy more Jamie. That's basically what happens to me as well. I don't know if I really need a dream guitar at this point. I've got a classic Stratocaster. I've got a Dan Electro, which does awesome garage sound. I have a BC Rich Bitch. I used to have a Les Paul hollow body, but it was just too clean, and I ended up selling that. I got a Vantage 710B Special bass guitar, which is awesome. I got a couple of acoustics. I don't know. Telecasters, they can have awesome sounds, but I do think Telecasters are kind of ugly guitars. No offense. Other people like them. I think that they're just a pinch ugly. My best friend had a Gibson, was it Firehawk? It was really cool. It had like Starburst on it, and we got it at an auction. He got it for like $40. Had it for 30 years, and he recently sold it for like $6,000. So nice. I like the BC Rich Bitch because it's kind of jagged and metal looking, and also like the Dan Electro because it's got that 1950s 60s kind of mid-century modern look / Art Deco look. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah. So I don't know. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe something ridiculous, like some triple neck guitar for the hell of it. Super chat coming from MS. Hi, Magnum. Any chance Dems let Trump win to galvanize their party? How nervous is Trump? Trump should be getting scared shitless. Because literally, in these special elections, Democrats won so big that previously safe Republican seats will lose by 5 to 10 points if this trend continues through next year. Meaning, Dems will clean up in the House, Dems will clean up in the Senate, Dems will clean up governorships. Entire state houses will flip, school boards will flip, fire districts, sheriff's offices, you name it, will flip all the Democrat across the entire country. And they might only have a couple of strongholds, maybe in the Deep South and Oklahoma. And that might be about it. Anywhere that's slightly purple will flip. Texas is very worried because they just switched all their districts to try and make it as red as possible. But they end up diluting a bunch of these districts into possible swing districts. Meaning, if there's a 15 to 20 point flip for the electorate, these districts that were safe at 7 or 8 points Republican are going to lose by 7 to 15 points. That's bad. That's really, really bad. It means they may have just flipped all the seats in Texas Democrat as a result. So, oopsie, right? Yeah, if I were Trump, I'd be very worried because if the Dems get a supermajority, which at this point mathematically might be possible next year, then if he gets impeached, which he will with the Democrats in charge, he'll get convicted on top of that, just based on party lines. So he must be really, really, really scared. A bunch of Republicans came out and said, we need a ground game. And our ground game last time around was Elon, and Elon didn't participate this time. And if they can't get Elon on board, they'll have no ground game. The difference is that between last time Elon had a ground game and today, Elon is now the most unpopular figure on planet Earth. He's less popular than even Trump. The globe hates him. Americans hate him. No one wants anything to do with him. So if he's out there being like, oh, I'm doing this, people are going to be like, ew. And they're not going to want anything to do with it. So, yeah. They're definitely galvanized. We're a month into this government shutdown, and everyone's still blaming the Republicans. Republican messaging of this is the Democrats' fault is not working. 70% of Americans are blaming Republicans right now. And the more progressive policies on the Democrat side, things like Medicare for all, etc., are supported by a vast majority of Americans. So this is actually an opportunity for the Democrats to move left and away from center and gather up more of the independents that they've sort of left behind and dominate in the midterms. So let's see if they can happen, right? ECB 728 IEP Carl says he's going to announce 2 new acquisitions soon. He apparently is trying to push against big index funds like Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street. And among those 3, they basically control 30% of every stock in existence. So he's trying to oust these folks from having any control on any boards, making any decisions on boards, because they've got the voting blocks all tied up, and they all own each other, which is disturbing, right? So I would suggest, as President Houston, that you ban index funds from investing in competitors, meaning they can take a 9% chunk of Ford, but then they can't own anything in GM, Stellantis, Honda, Toyota, etc. They can pick one company in each industry in which they can purchase a chunk. They can own Disney shares, but they wouldn't be allowed to own Paramount, right? They would be able to own T-Mobile, but not AT&T. So you make them pick. So they don't. So they're no longer owning their own competition and all these things. What they do is they just and doing collusion across markets, and it ruins everything. You need this competition going. So that's one way I would control these big index funds and limit them to 5% in any company. Like they can't own more than 5%, and that's it. So it doesn't give them enough of a voting block to do anything. I made 4.9%, somewhere in there. And yeah, that's how I'd fix it. I'm sure ICANN is thinking of something with his white paper. Although I talk about how he's preparing a white paper and is using a bunch of ChatGPT for it, which is going to mean it's going to just suck to read. But yeah. Another super chat. Billcoin, I think Trump is so isolated and demented, he hasn't a clue what's really happening. He gave a really weird off-the-cuff remarks today after his return from Asia, talking about how he wants his cabinet to be much more like President Xi's cabinet, where they don't say anything. And then he kind of did like a backhanded laughy laugh insult to JD Vance about how JD Vance interrupts him all the time and can't shut up. He wants to be a dictator. Every time he meets a dictator, he's like, "Oh, I love how that works. This is magnificent." So yeah, it's all he's focused on is how rich I can get and if I can be in absolute control. But he isn't in absolute control because he doesn't know how anything works. So he has to rely upon the most evil people in the world to feed him things to do because he doesn't actually read or have any curiosity. Dig Dug Doink. Shit, I'm 10 minutes late. Eat the spam. Well, that means we got to go here. We got to go there. And we got to go here. And that's another tenner. Boom. Bam. Oh boy. Spam. Spam is happening. All right. Take that down. Move that down because it's so bright. Tropics 741. Finally gonna catch a live one while putting my son to sleep. It's a perfect time. It's bedtimes. You just put him to sleep and you have me just talk about nonsense and they just are out. It's perfect. Polestar. More garbage buck tinfoil. How does GameStop ever know how to make people freak out over nothing? Have you ever met someone that's like an easy audience? You meet them, you crack a couple of lame jokes, and they are dying. Like you are now the funniest fucking person they've ever met in their entire lives, and you are like a magic charm for them. And it feels good. Your ego is like, oh man, I'm killing it here, right? That is the average GameStop investor for anything that GameStop does. They're an easy audience. GameStop can just put out gibberish, and the GameStop investors are like, oh my God, it's happening finally. And then nothing happens. They're just so stoked because we're such an easy audience. I think we need to like toughen up a little bit and be like, I heard that joke before. Give me something better. And then maybe we'll get something better. Because right now, I'm still poor. I still see these posts where like, "Oh, you GameStop investors are millionaires." No, I'm not. I am not yet a millionaire. Quit telling me that I am until I actually am. It's been 5 years of you just stroking it, just yeah, just edging us the entire time, and there's been no completion. That's 5 years. That's more than 10% of my life has spent as an investor in this company to be down 20% overall. That's where we are. So, do something. There are things to do. You can do it, so do it. Just Miami, very suspicious of car bomb exploding in Bronx today. Video footage of a car fire that exploded. I don't know if it's a car bomb. It could be gas tank explosion. Could be, lithium batteries. I don't know yet. But yeah, a car caught on fire, blew up, and injured a bunch of firefighters who were working on quelling the blaze, quashing the blaze, squashing, putting it out, whatever. And the video footage is pretty dramatic. So, much love, prayer. So, yeah. Doink. No, wait. What was I thinking, King? Don't eat that shit. No spam. All right. Back to spam. I just realized also I added a penny to this. This is $9.99. You're 9.99. There we go. And this side, now, Doink's taking off the $9.99. And we're back where we were. Man, how easy is that? Okay. All right. Spam. MSQD6PC. Awooga. Finally, we can think some good thoughts. Lol. Since before, Khan is back. Mamdani is either a genius or his powerful, knowledgeable allies. This is how Obama could rebuild the Democratic Party. I mean, Lena Khan is, and I've said this for years now, the single most competent bureaucrat we've had in generations. Hands down. She's been focusing on this since she was a child. That's how dedicated to her cause she is. And she's definitely one of those put together type A's who just gets shit done. That's what you want as a bureaucrat. If you tell her, hey, get this administration together for New York, she will have that fucker lined up and ready to go with all sorts of deals and propositions and everything else, and you just go from day one. That's ideally who you want as the person setting this all up. So yeah, it's genius of him to have her in charge. She is fantastic. If there's anyone who has served in the U.S. government I could high five harder, it would be Lena Khan. I would high five the shit out of that woman. Her hand would be ringing and stinging. She'd be like, ow. And it will be well worth it. So, think doink. Now that I think about it, maybe she eats the spam. Here we go. All right. So now we're eating spam again. 4.99. Boop. There it is. All right. So now we're down to $7,088.70 left for the spam. Word. Okay. All right. Back. Boop. Minimize that because it's so bright in my eye on that screen. You can actually see. Watch my shirt light up when I bring this guy up. Ready? Oh, that's how bright the Excel spreadsheet is. And near home. Woo! It's a, what was that? 29-inch, 30-inch monitor. Kelly Reed, happy birthday, HW. OpenAI is seeking $1 trillion government investment. America just loves being pillaged. $1 trillion. $1 trillion. DeepSeek, which was the Chinese AI that came out last Christmas, uses 1/1000th the chips to get the same results. And man, why are you yelling at me? I'm talking about how much I hate AI. DeepSeek does the same level of AI as OpenAI does with 1/1000th the number of chips. Now, the deal that Trump cut with China supposedly is we will give next generation AI chips to China if they buy some of our soybeans, which means China is going to kick the absolute shit out of us in the AI department. Imagine if the DeepSync people have access to next gen chips, and they can do it now with 1/4000th the chips that we have with OpenAI. So if OpenAI is looking for $1 trillion, the US government may as well just light that fucker on fire. They may as well suck all the water out of the ground, burn all the forests down, and I don't know, poison entire cities of people. That's all you're going to get out of it. They're going to invest $1 trillion, and they're going to make a whole bunch of empty buildings that will no longer be used because their technology isn't efficient. So, it's dumb. It's real dumb. Real dumb. Attending oneness super chats, Yo Rock God. I want to report an unaliving that happened for the GOP last night. Insane margins of victory. Insane. Projected points of victory for like the governorship in New Jersey was 3 points. New Jersey's new governor won by like 15. In Virginia, the projected win was like 4 to 6 points. She won by 12. So this is an off year, small turnout election, and they're getting destroyed. Farmers in Kansas are rejecting Trump in big numbers because they're dying. They don't have any money. They don't have any workers. It's not working for them. They're realizing that their racism isn't as good as having like a living and a family they can feed. So, yeah. Cat, shut up. Quit yelling at me. Get up here. Up here. Up here. The dog's not using it. So you want to come up here and lay down? No, quick, rub your face. Come on. Not on me. Not on me. Over here. Right there. Boom. Look at that. See? Show up in your butthole. There it is. Okay. You're still going to come over here and bother me, aren't you? That's what you're going to do. I'm just going to rub your face. Rub your face until it just falls apart. And Dick Dog doing super chats again. I would hate for you to have gastrointestinal stress. So maybe don't eat the spam. No runny poops. Okay. 4.99. It's all equalizing out here, isn't it? Okay. All right. Back to Big Houston. Turn off the very bright thing. Watch my shirt get darker. Oops. Wait. Nope. That was the wrong one. There we go. All right. Now where am I? I did that one. MS says I live in New York. All right. We got the party favors going on. 64 we are blue. Hear us roar. Roar. AK0738. Do you think RC doesn't want us to get rich? Also, how soon market crash? Best guess. Okay. If you're a government contractor, most government spending is contracts. Like outside of, Social Security, military, stuff like that. Most of like military budget, the $1 trillion military budget, like what, 150 billion is actually paying people to do things. The rest is just contracts at this point. So all those contractors, they're not getting paid. It means their employees aren't getting paid. Doing their jobs. Not doing their jobs. Air traffic control is starting to shut down the country, which means travel's not happening. If travel's not happening, tourism isn't happening. Tourism isn't happening. People aren't making a lot of money in a lot of places. So we got slowdowns in home buying. We've got slowdowns in commercial real estate. We've got slowdowns in car sales. We've got slowdowns in consumer spending. We've got all these regional banks about to go puny pop. We have desperate actions happening on essentially last-ditch financing of banks through the Fed. If the government doesn't open up, very soon, like we could watch a major bank or investment bank just blip out of existence any moment. And unlike 2008, when the Fed and the Treasury and the major banks got together in a meeting and said, we're going to sacrifice Bear Stearns, right? They literally said, we'll sacrifice Bear Stearns. JP Morgan said, you know what? I can absorb whatever they got. We're fine. We don't have that right now because no one's working at the Treasury. The Fed is completely disconnected from the rest of the federal government. The banks don't know what the hell's going on. So if someone goes under and there's no pre-planning for it, then oh shit, it's going to be a disaster. So soon, if the government doesn't open back up. And what this is telling everyone, because you talk to people who are apolitical and just know the government shut down, but they don't really consider much stuff. You ask them like, hey, why is the government shut down? Most of the time they're going to tell you it's because of the Epstein files, that Trump is scared of the Epstein files being released. And that's why the government shut down. That's it. It's as simple as that. So there are reports coming out that the Epstein files, like what's in the Epstein files, is way worse for everyone, including Trump, than even the things that Michael Wolff revealed in his 100 hours of tapes with Jeffrey Epstein. So they're desperate to try and keep him out of there. They took 1,000 FBI agents dedicated to redacting Donald Trump's name from those files. 1,000 FBI agents were tasked with redacting his name. That's how brutal it is and how large it is. So, if you ask me. Texas had stupid propositions that passed, unfortunately. They did have a lot of stupid propositions that were worded in very suspect ways, right? In Texas, against the law and the Constitution to be a non-citizen and vote. And then they had a weird bill that made it illegal for non-citizens to vote. It's already in there. So what was the real reason behind that? Right? It allowed parents to basically pull their kids from school if they learn something that upsets the parents, like sex ed or that, slavery was a thing. What's going to happen in Texas is that you're going to have basically Oklahoma level schools, which are the worst fucking schools in the country. And, Florida's trying to get there. Florida went from one of the best public school systems, and they're just falling through the rankings right now because of bullshit like this. But hey, that's what they got there on them off. Attending Oneness Super Chats, Georgia statewide elections were 25 points. Some counties in Georgia had like 60, 70 point swings to Dems. Batshit insane. Like, yes, economy and quality of life are important. 57% of all spending in V governor race was anti-trans fail. Oh, Virginia governor's race. Yeah, Georgia has one shining example that it's the only thing you need to point to when it comes to the midterms and off-year elections is you point to the fact that 15 to 20,000 Georgians don't have a job in a giant battery factory because a Republican MAGA douchebag xenophobic racist lady called ICE on a whole bunch of guest workers who were setting up this giant factory to employ a whole bunch of Georgians. And now they're like, fuck it. We don't need this battery factory. Screw you. We're out. We're just going to abandon this entire investment. Good luck with those big empty buildings, you fucking morons. And that is all you need to show why you don't want these MAGAs running anything in your state. So yeah, good for you, Georgia. Good for you. Good for you. Oh shoot, the chat just reset. Did I get them all? I got that one. 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 Okay, I think I got them all. Okay, make sure. There's a lot of them here today. I did that one. Did that one. Did that one. Did that one. Oh yeah, I forgot the other part of AK's thing was, do you think RC wants us to get rich or doesn't want us to get rich? There's a weird thought process with rich people. Shut up, cat. And those rich people, somehow they think that if other people have success, it will ruin or taint their own success. And this plays over also into race politics, right? Is that if you're like a middle-class white person and black people, Mexican people also become middle class in your neighborhood, you no longer have people you can look down on, which makes you feel like your life has gotten worse, even if your life has improved at the same time. So with a lot of rich people, if other people that they look down upon also get rich, it feels like it cheapens their wealth and security. We had some very forward-looking socialist policies in this country from the 1930s to the 1970s, where we taxed the hell out of rich people. We employed a boatload of folks. At one point, almost 10% of the entire population in the United States was employed by the federal government during the Depression. That's a lot of folks. 1 in 10 to be employed by the government. Right now, it's about 1% of the total population is employed by the government. And it gave the largest sustainable middle class in the entire world. Basically, the first middle class, truly, on Earth, formed as a result of this. And 1970s through the 80s, through present day, all we did is we chipped away at the guarantees for folks in this country, at ensuring that they can have lasting, relatively cost-effective lives and have a socioeconomic station in life that they could retire on, they could raise a family on, they could buy a house on, they could live their lives comfortably, relatively. And we chipped away at the tax structure for corporations, for rich individuals, and all that did was weaken the strengths that had been given to the middle class. And if you don't have a strong middle class, you don't have a strong consumer class, right? I'm sure you guys have read the stats that 50% of all consumer spending right now are the top 10% of the population. That's not sustainable. Even McDonald's says that poor people stopped going to McDonald's, that their entire market right now is wealthier clientele. McDonald's has never been the destination for wealthier clientele. Kids, poor people, and the lazy. Those are the folks who will make up 99% of McDonald's demographics. You might have quick, but kind of include quick people with the lazy. The food takes forever. It's no longer cheap. So you got kids and you got rich people. So you're down to 34% of your original market. That's it. You've lost 66% of everyone else. They're not going there anymore. There's no point in going to McDonald's. If you're cutting out food stamps, of which Walmart makes $8 billion a year off of food stamps, there's $8 billion a year Walmart's not getting anymore. That's all of their dividends and bonuses for their executives. That's it. That's gone. Done, right? I don't think they realize just how much money flows through the economy because poor people and middle class people have to spend it. You put a couple $1,000 in my pocket, it gets spent because I need to do repairs on a car. I need to buy heating oil. I need to get more toilet paper. Whatever. You put a couple $1,000 into the pockets of rich people, it doesn't get spent. It gets invested. They buy a bit more BlackRock, a bit more Vanguard, right? Some more Nvidia. And it inflates the prices of these stocks, but doesn't actually pass through the rest of the economy. Remember, economy is the movement of goods, people, information, services, and capital. As long as that stuff's flowing around pretty well unimpeded, you're going to have a pretty healthy economy. Once you start impeding some of those things, the economy starts to get muddied down. And the problem with a lot of the people on the conservative side is that they think taxation is a form of muddying that down when it's not. It's actually a way of improving the flow of capital through the entire system. If you provide food stamps to poor people who otherwise would not be spending and probably having to steal, which is what we're seeing at grocery stores right now, people just filling up their carts, just walking to their cars and driving away and not paying for a damn thing, is that for every dollar you spend on food stamps, the greater economy gets $1.74. When it comes to straight up welfare and Section 8 housing, it's like $2.60 for every dollar spent, right? So if you have a system that's more socialized, like universal healthcare, single payer healthcare, where all the hospitals are owned by the government, all of the nurses and doctors are on salary from the federal government to be there, don't have to worry about them having to do any billings, having to argue with insurance companies. You don't have to worry about bureaucrats and administrators. Focus all on insurance crap. You start to see spending dump while discretionary spending of consumers rise, meaning more vacations, more cars purchased, more home repairs and remodels and things like that. Savings go up. And so if you can sort of remove the greedy shitbirds from the basics humans need, whether it comes to food, housing, utilities, healthcare, right? Then through consumer spending, your economy can then grow, get better savings, and have a healthier population. But if you talk to the conservatives, like, no, that's wrong. Well, think of the insurance lobby. Well, fuck those guys. All they do is they take all that money and they dump it into a Cayman account. And that Cayman account then, invests into a hedge fund and fucks everyone over. So give them less money. These private equity firms, there's more private equity firms in the United States than there are McDonald's franchises at this point. They don't have anywhere left to put their money. So they're constantly trying to find places to put it. They're trying to put it into, your vet clinics and your HVAC companies and like all the local mom and pop shops that you grew up with. They're now owned by private equity. And they might keep the name of the mom and pop, plumber. So when you call and get a bid for a job, you're actually going to a call center that operates as the call center for all the other mom and pop plumbing places around. In all those places, they're not competing with each other for price anymore. It's the same company. So they have established price rates and they just start jacking up the prices. So if you need to fix your heating and cooling system or, replace your windows, the price is through the roof now because there's no competition left because all these private equity companies have bought all up. So when I say Archie doesn't want to get us rich, he doesn't want us to get rich. Otherwise, he would have made us rich already. He's had the opportunity for the last 5 years to make it rain on us in an insane fashion and turn 1 million Americans into millionaires at this point. And he just hasn't done it. So why? If he wanted his shareholders to get rich, he would have made us rich already. He could have done it several times over. And here we sit. Not rich. He gets his country clubs. He gets his private jets. He gets his courtside seats at Knicks games. He can do all that stuff. He can sit in his private box, watch his favorite hockey team win the Stanley Cup, and we got an asthmatic cat and a 3-legged dog and ramen noodles and thrift store shopping and shit cars we buy at auction because we can make those work. That's what we got. So that's that. Anywho, don't you dare. Turkish stinky treats for monkey butt and fat cat getting its tail use microphone. I'm burning low. Stinky treats for monkey butt. Yeah. Does monkey want stinky treats? Does monkey butt want stinky treats? Where's monkey butt? Where is she? Where's monkey butt? Where's monkey butt? Where is she? Kitty cat, can you tell me? Can you tell me where that monkey butt is? Oh, there she is. There she is. Well, if you want treats, you gotta get up on your condiment. Gotta get up here. Come on. Up here. Come on. Come on. Up here. Come on. Come on. Here. Here. Come on. Come on. There you go. Oh, ha ha ha. Nom 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 nom. All right, you want to smell that? Yeah, you gonna try to bite it? You gonna try to bite it? Try. Try as you might. Your teeth aren't strong enough. I know, it's too tough. You gotta need a stronger bite force. You just can't. Trying. Oh, it's working a little long because the monkey's still working. Just literally can't bite through it. You have a piece over there? Come on, you got it? There you go. All right, enough of the dog. Have some cat spit. There you go. Oh, you're disgusting. All right, was that good? Want some drugs? Make up for it? Want to get high? There we go. All right, eat them up. Right there. Put your face in it. It's all right there. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Can you get it? There we go. Everyone's happy now. Okay, Turkish. Basat Baman, sup. Blue Wave. What's the one single thing the Dems could do to have the biggest effect on the administration? become a true opposition party, meaning no negotiations. We don't give a shit. We're not going to sell out anyone or anything. You're going to have to own it all. And that means fundamentally removing Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries as leadership in both houses. They just need to get rid of them. They're milquetoast puss bags. And you can't have an opposition made up of people who firmly believe they can negotiate. Well, we'll get rid of subsidies on Medicare, but then maybe we can keep national parks. No, fuck you. You need to be. We need pit bulls. We need angry, rabid dogs in charge of the Democratic Party who will force their party members to march in lockstep. Who will put the fear of fucking God into someone like Fetterman, who's brain damaged and completely lost basically his entire belief system due to a stroke. Even his own wife is like, I don't know who this man is. This is not the man I married. They need to find the Dinos, the Democrats in name only, the blue dog Dems on the national level, and they need to primary the shit out of them. Tell them they're not going to get any funding. Fetterman should not get a dime from the DNC for re-election. He should not be reelected. They need to find somebody who's competent and popular in Pennsylvania to primary him if he's going to run again and win. That's what they do. Just take people like that and just get rid of them. Can't have any more Kristen Cinemas. Can't have any more Joe Manchins. You need to have a party that operates like a machine in lockstep. They got to treat their leadership like the captain of a ship and just say aye aye. Because the wishy-washy Dems of the past have been the biggest downfall for Democrats, period. And they're always trying to do some sort of purity test where, like, they have a Dem who... I don't know, how would I even put this, kitty cat? Like, they have a Dem who may have said, like, I think Hamas was bad, right? And everyone's like, how dare you? You're pro-Israel. They might not be pro-Israel. They just might think that terrorism attacks, so that's a bad thing to have happen, right? And they'll just boot them to the curb. But then they'll gladly elect somebody who will thwart our ability to get health care in this country for everyone. Right? It's a total clusterfuck. So we need to fundamentally change how the Democratic Party operates and to make it a little more top down than it has been. And once you get established, you can then relax because you'll have lots of seats at that point, and then you can give it more. But right now, you have to be an absolute mean son of a bitch of an opposition party. That's the only way you're going to get through this. You refuse everything that the Republicans throw your way. Some of the biggest mistakes of Democrats in the past was negotiating away the good stuff out of things to get some sort of limp milquetoast bill passed. Think about the ACA. The ACA is better than what we had, but it's not better enough, right? We negotiated away the public option, which would have been way cheaper than any of these private insurance companies because it's not for profit, right? And we negotiated that away, hoping that some Republicans would sign on with it. And then no Republicans signed on with it. So we did that for no reason whatsoever. We need to do things like, if we can't get, a Medicare for all bill passed, then we need to get some sort of corralling of the insurance companies out of this. You're seeing these insurance premiums for next year jumping to $3,000, $4,000 a month for these families. And then they have things like $21,000 deductibles. You're going to pay $45,000, $48,000 a year on your premiums, and then you have to spend another $21,000 on top of that before your insurance even kicks in. Easy peasy. You pass a law that says if your insurance premium is more than $100 a month, there is no deductible, there is no copay. Done. That fixes a lot of problems right there, right? And no insurance can cost more than X. You just put a cap on it. For a family of four, insurance can't cost more than $1,000 a month. Ta-da! You hear about folks who can't afford their medical bills all day. 70,000 people a month die. Sorry, 7,000 people a year die because insurance companies wouldn't cover their coverage. Couple simple ways to fix that. If someone dies and the doctor determines they died because the insurance company wouldn't cover their treatment, you charge the executives of that insurance company with premeditated murder, and you send their asses to prison forever. Done. If the CEO of Humana or Blue Cross Blue Shield or Molina or United Health, if they have to go to prison because one of their customers died due to the negligence of their coverage, then they go to prison. It's simple as that. They're not going to do that. They don't want to go to prison. They don't want to be charged with first degree premeditated murder, because that's exactly what they did. You charge the administrator with the murder, you charge the executive with the murder, and they go to prison forever. That would change fundamentally how insurance is done in this country. You hear about people all the time dying from negligence, basically, for their insurance companies. You hear about them not being able to afford their medical bills. What you never hear about is how an insurance executive can't afford a second home. They can't afford their private jet. They can't afford their third yacht. You know, we can't keep up on the payments of our ski in, ski out in Chamonix. It's ridiculous. There's no reason anybody in those jobs should make as much money as they do. And the incentive should not be to make as much money as possible if you're in those jobs. The incentive should be to provide the best care for humanity, because that's what's best for humanity. So I think, if you can't get Medicare for all, you destroy the profit incentive of the insurance company so much, certainly the insurance lobby, so much that they'll almost be grateful to be eliminated from existence and have a single payer system as a result. So, yeah, that's, I don't know. I'm doing a lot of after dark ranting tonight on these suckers, and I'm only 4 minutes into the show's chat. Polestar! No government reopened until Trump's ballroom completed. I don't think the government gets reopened unless the Epstein files come out and everyone goes, well, there goes that entire thing. The Republicans need to get this budget passed the way it is, and then after that, they have no use for Trump anymore because he's so unpopular. So it won't almost be better if they just 25th Amendmented him right now. He went on a weird tangent today talking about how South Africans are ruining Miami. And there's 30 people, 30, in a metropolitan area of like 4 million, 5 million. There's 30 people from South Africa in the entire metropolitan area. And they only found 800 people who even trace their lineage back to South Africa. So I don't know what's on that guy's brain. It's absolutely bonkers, batshit. But here we are. 10-1 to Super Chats. Apparently, Shitstain, Schumer, and Husk Hakeem are seeking a deal to end the shutdown. So fucking stupid. Don't blink, you idiots. This is their problem every single time. Every single time you blink. You have the upper hand. The American people are behind you. Don't make a deal. Make them come to you with changes. Make them say, all right, fine, we'll fund Medicare and Medicaid, and we'll make sure the ACA still has the subsidies. Then you can be like, all right, cool, we'll sign this. But until they do that, fuck you. Make the Republicans come to you. Schumer and Jeffries are just such limp little weasels, man. They do not know how to lead. And I don't understand how they're in a leadership position, having no clue how to lead. They're cringe as fuck. I don't get it. I really, really don't. And the Democrats need to just go, you know what? We're out. You're done. Kick them to the curb. That's it. Right? Right, kitty? That's right. Oh, yeah. You just bask in your glory, you little turd. That's right. Eon Noe. Hey, Houston. I made it to Moab. So you went from Salt Lake down to Grand Canyon. Now you're up at Moab. All right. Moab's a beautiful place. You got your big old rock climbing truck. You're going to go up some like giant cliffs, or you're going to go mountain biking, do some jumps and bounce off some hoodoos and whatnot. It's gorgeous there. Polestar, you like that Trump getting his ass pushed in the chopper? Did you see that video footage? Trump's getting into Marine One, and the Marine literally like grabs him by the butt and like pushes him into the chopper. That's a great video. RV608. I need that intro's background music. Let's see. I know I have it. I have it. Do I have? Because I keep getting docked, and I have to like constantly put the. Okay, it's not there. It's going to be. Oops. That one. Logged in there. Go to chat. Go find Alexander K. Alexander K. There we go. And then I gotta scroll up to the Google Drive that has all the things that tells me the song. So, the night show. Night show is the song is called "My Type" by Arthur Bazov. So I'll put that in here. My Type by Arthur Bazov. So that's the song in the Jumpin' Burgers intro. All right, cool. Are we cool? Are we cool? Are we cool on that? All right, close that. I'll be there. Okay. Kitty, I love that you're so high right now that you're actually not bothering me. It's so wonderful. I should keep you at the state. It's like why they had opium babies in all those textile mills in New York. Keep them from crying. You just drug them up and just shut up. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, Turkish All says I couldn't get in touch with your AV producer. Well, I haven't heard from him in a while. I mean, he might be busy, so I haven't heard from him in like a month. We put together the nice Google Docs sheet with all the licensing for the videos it does, because I do the videos and I get, your show can't be monetized because you have a violation. And I submit the code for the licensing, and after a month they're like, oh, turns out you can have the money off this show. It's really silly, very silly. Like, can you just realize that I have the license for all these and stop docking me? Okay. Enron's Razor Awards throwing out some stickers. Sparky Spark Sparkles says, why are we waiting for December 12th GME earnings as new hype date? Ryan, just fucking do it, whatever it is, please. What? Yeah, nothing will happen around earnings ever. It'll happen long before or just after earnings, because that's just the way it works. And Ryan, just pull the goddamn trigger. All right. Comfy Sova, lol, you're here. Caught a live one. Well, you're a night owl there. Oh my goodness. Pulsar says Remez, lol. Seriously. Ken Smith, 7040 IEP had a good quarter and teases upcoming news. I think they're about to make Hindenburg wish they had never been alive. Carl Icahn's net worth has dropped from like 20 billion to 5 billion over the last 2 years because of Hindenburg's hit piece on them. And I think Carl is going to make them pay big time coming soon. And I wish I had all the money that I could just throw at things like IEP and whatnot, but I don't have it. So I got a few IEP and that's about it. Oh well. Polestar, see the newest South Park crypto scams? They pretty much did what PP did with the scam coin. Yeah, they really pointed it out there. I think I should make a crypto coin and call it rug pull. And I'll advertise that I am going to rug pull you. You just got to figure out when, right? That'll be the whole thing. Like, this coin is going to go to $1 gajillion. I will rug pull the shit out of it. You have to figure out when that's going to happen. I'll maintain like 90% of the coins, sell 10% in the market, and when time comes, I'm out. right? That'll be the entire. That'll be it. Will be a rug pull. I will tell everyone it's a rug pull. They will know it's a rug pull coming, and I'm gonna pull that rug, right? And then once I'm done rug pulling, and the price of the coin drops to like fucking nothing, I'll buy it all up again, and we'll do it again, right? The rug pull 2.0, and we'll just keep doing it over and over and over again. That'll be the infinite money glitch, right, kitty? Yeah. So, rug pull coin coming to you in 2026. Jason Aaron took me hope, Houston. I'll try not to. The woman in the hat. Did you see that video? The picture of, like, my roommate hadn't seen the picture of Melania in the hat meeting King Charles, and it is the goofiest fucking thing. Okay, Melania hat, King Charles. Where is it? Where's the good one? There it is. Oh, that's not the best one. There it is. Google Earth off. Chrome on. Boop. Shaboink. Done. Hey, where are you? Chrome. Oh, you're not on. There you go. All right. This guy right here. So this was the woman in the hat that was like haunting the White House. Just so funny. Oh my goodness. I would make Jay happy. There we go. Picture's large. You're inside. Take your hat off, you weirdo. All right. Back down to 100. Boop. Polestar, another reason why they'll never open the government until they have complete power again. Yep. And Yogi, what crazy shit should we expect from Republicans since they know they're screwed 2026 elections? I mean, they're going to have to double down on disenfranchisement. The problem is that the disenfranchisement stuff, like purging people from voter rolls, etc., only works if races are within like 2 or 3 points. If they can do that, they actually shift it into Republicans winning. But right now, the races look like they're going to be 15 or more points difference. And all that disenfranchisement isn't enough. So they literally have to like violently keep people from getting to the polls or from voting entirely in like by the millions. And that is just too blatant and obvious. And that's enough for people to be like, you know what? I'm taking up arms. And so I don't think they have what it takes at the moment to do that. Maybe if they get Elon back on board, he can hack the systems and do all that. But even then, it's only like you can only tweak small percentages here and there because it becomes too blatantly obvious. And then you're like Saddam Hussein, where you're winning elections by 97%, even though everyone wants you to die, right? Then you just, the UN has to come in and go, this isn't right. So, yeah. An MSQD6 PC. Elon gonna get his trilly? No. He's having a hissy fit about it. He wants to become the first trillionaire, but I don't think it'll work. Oh, it's starting to pour rain again really hard. Dang, that's really loud rain. You hear that, monkey? You hear loud? Yeah, you hear it. It is dumping out there. You don't like that at all. Ever since she got broken by the firework being lit off next to her head, she associates heavy rain and wind with the transformer in front of the house exploding. So now when she hears it, goodness, that's so loud. She's like going into the seat now and just vibrating. I know, monkey, it's terrifying. So now she's just, anytime we get weather, she's like a shaking mess because she thinks the transformer in our at the end of our driveway is going to explode and sound like, World War I going off. Hey, you can be under this. You can be under there. Yeah, it's all right. You can hide under the desk. That's fine. I'll protect you. I'll protect you from the water. I will. Okay. Polestar says, yeah, I sure hope this is a start of a blue wave. Even in Canada, a conservative switched sides to the libs because of how crazy the cons were. And Polar, yeah. Aaron Salentine, Falcon, how close, in your opinion, are we close to everything squeeze after the collapse of the market? I don't think it'll take long because of how much leverage is out there. There's $300 billion in private credit that will go puny pop. There's $7 trillion in margin to family funds. There's untold trillions in margin to hedge funds at this point, and all that's just going to go blip because none of them are creative and none of them are original, and they're all shorting the same companies. They're all doing the same plays. And the minute they're caught with their pants down, that's it. So I don't think it'll take long at all for those things to pop off. Billy McDaddy saw a report that where Facebook influenced foreign elections when they just tried to do that in social media. Oh, they already did it. Facebook already got busted with Cambridge Analytica and everyone else in 2016 doing that. So yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Hal Bizarre says, "Yay, Houston Tonight Show," and Zeke says hello. And Mark Lava says, "Catching you live while I put my daughter to sleep. Houston for the win." Nice. Rising Mist 01. We should vote to replace Cohen if he can't complete the job his investors want. I would, if gets to the point where Ryan still hasn't done shit, I would say, hey, Keith Gill, do you want the job? Because he would do something that would be awesome. He would. He's got the education to do it. He's got the know-how to do it. He knows how to read the market. Why not? I would support him in that case. And Polestar, I guess some good news for GME is the addition of baseball cards and other cards to the power packs, but I just see that as just gambling. It's literally a slot machine. You go boop, and it's like ding ding ding, right? And you're like, oh wow, I won something for $25. That's it. It's literally gambling. I mean, buying baseball cards is a form of gambling, but you're like collecting at the same time. So you get a pack and you're like, oh, what's in there? And you open it up and you're like, oh, lame player, lame player, lame player, lame player, lame player. Oh, and you get another pack and every, like one in a box. You have one amazing card and you're good to go. But that's that. Aaron Salentine, I'm more interested in the everything squeeze theory over the GME squeeze at this point. Well, GME will pop off with it and it'll probably be the king of the everything squeeze. But of the queen, I'm not really sure which gender GME shares are. But yeah, that's where we're going. All right, I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to go away. And I'll see you all for show tomorrow at about 3:30 Pacific time. Hazel Allen, the new New York mayor-elect seems intelligent. Saw his mom directed a movie that Denzel Washington was in, and his dad is a professor or something. Yeah, he's a nerd. He's kind of a hipster nerd. Hipster nerd with a hot wife, and your heroes can still disappoint you. He could turn out to be like an Anthony Weiner asshole who's managed to keep all hidden for all these years, but I hope not. So I'm putting some faith into him as an elected leader that he's actually, along the lines of an AOC who just wants to do good and have the city succeed. If he fails us by being complete chode, then I'll gladly just send him to the brig and get somebody else in there. So, fingers crossed. Okay, so that's it for me this evening. I will see you all tomorrow. Well, it's daytime out there. And I want you folks to have a good night. All right, let's do the classic. The classic after dark? Yes, let's shall.